So that was my least favorite part of the conference, was all the maximalists. That's why I'm excited for an Ethereum conference. Like, they're so much better.
That's cool that you got to jam and hang out with Hannah and represent Giveth. Thanks for that, Will.
My pleasure.
And sorry I was like a minute or two late. We were on a road mapping call with the comms team and got so excited about what we were talking about that we went a little bit over time. But I've pinged a link to the Notion agenda here. Today is our debrief for Sprint 9. And so I think we can just get started with a check-in. Maybe just sharing, what's alive for you right now. If you have any distractions or if there's anything that you like really want to make sure that we cover, like for example, if you have any questions for us to consider as we go through our debrief, that would be cool to add in. I can get us started. I am feeling super productive and efficient today. I am, just here to review our closeout and see like what the status is of everything before we move into the debrief, and then kind of guide us through some discussion points to see what went well and what we can improve for our next sprint. And I don't have any distractions. I will pass it to Willie.
Forrest. It's going live for me. I am excited to be here, but admittedly still very tired. I can't wait to go to sleep tonight and hopefully catch up. I'm looking forward to that. And I think and then also I'm looking at Lauren's message right now on Discord, so maybe we can schedule a hack session liquidity mining stuff. It'll be a priority for this next sprint. It was great talking to people about Giveth and the Give token last night, and just really yesterday and throughout the week, and it really just like solidified. I really believe that it's amazing, because I think what we're working on is so needed, and I really think that with the direction things are going, with DAOs being the future and DeFi eating traditional stuff, that we really are building what is going to be the future of building. So excited to be here with you all, working on this Give token, which is going to be crucial for this future we're building. And I'll pass it to Griff.
There we go. Too many tabs. I try to pull it out of the tab, man, and then it's easy. But okay. What's alive for me? Man, this is like my 10th call in a row. Super cool to be here. And really, I love Mondays. So what's alive for me? The rain outside has made me shift my location today a couple times, and that's been kind of fun dancing around. And the goal is definitely schedule that liquidity mining hack session. Maybe even take a few minutes at the end of this just to get you guys started on looking at the spreadsheet if you want, because that's probably the biggest blocker that we have. And everything else, at least on my end, is in the works. But of course, I can give some updates that I feel like I've given 3 times already. I could give them again. Cool. And I'll pass it to Ashley.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yay! Oh my goodness. It's been like an hour, but I got it. You can hear me now. Yeah, I guess we're doing what's most alive for me right now with the Give token launch is project verification, getting the next party scheduled. I put the applications that we've received so far into our little Discord chat so we can self-assign them and take them on, and then we'll schedule a verification party, get together and talk about the results. So yeah, I just wanted to sync up with you guys. I'd love to be involved with the hack session for the liquidity mining. I'm not sure how much I can add to the conversation, but I'd love to be there and just learn and hang out. And yeah, so I will pass it to Lauren. Did you go already? Sorry, the internet is horrible.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, what's most alive for me is, I don't know, I like Mondays. Mondays are good days. It's been really nice to be hacking on things. I feel chilly because it's raining. And then what's alive for me for Give stuff, I really want to help on the liquidity mining spreadsheet, so I'm really looking forward to, just scheduling a time or looking at it later today after this call or near the end of the call. Not too much else to update. I still have like the airdrop postages in the works, but I haven't added too much to it since the last time we met. And I'll pass it to Forrest.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Good. Again, definitely heard everyone is excited about the liquidity mining hack session. So I will try to make sure that we're able to use some of our time today for that, which I think we will for sure have the time for, I think. So just going to run through our Sprint 9 priorities, like the latest status of where everything is at. So as we last spoke and shared on the community call on Sunday, on the airdrop, excuse me. I had something spicy. Normally I can handle the heat, but damn. Bowen has completed portion of things. We have plus that we can distribute to the DApp node team, and our work is ready for QA review. So I'm just curious what our next steps are here that we might need to close out. Do we need to move this, like upload the latest spreadsheet to Aragon and put it to a vote and get like a certain percentage so that it can be signed off on? Do we need to actually determine exactly what we're going to do with that 109,000 surplus, like who on the DApp node team it's going to? What are the next steps for the airdrop to like 110% just sign off on it?
Go ahead, Will. Well, I was just gonna say, I assume we just leave that 109 until the end, and then at the last minute be like, okay, these people are under rewarded. Let's just we missed this group.
Sorry, which group?
Just like the 109. When we look at the final thing and we're like, oh yeah, look at all these people that helped us get here that like we totally left out because maybe they did stuff in the last 2 months or 3 months. DApp node devs being the most obvious group that I feel like is completely like left out, and we're just going to take all their work and run. So like we should probably give them something, but there's probably other people too. I don't know, but I feel like it's like one of those. That's where you dot the I at the end.
Cool. So basically waiting to finalize the list until last minute so that we can make sure we add some of these other contributors and anyone else that we think between now and then that we should make sure is included. Cool. I like that. And then other than that, everything else is ready to go at this point. We have amounts and addresses for everyone that we have addresses for, and that's all finalized.
Yeah, and I believe Bowen even has like the mapping for people whose addresses we don't have. We just have like 0x1, 2, 3, 4. I think he skipped the letters, but that's okay. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, surprisingly. So, but yeah, that's all set. And then on Tuesday or tomorrow, in like geez, 14 hours or something. DApp node, I'll have like 2 hours of DApp node fun, and we will get, we'll at least answer all the questions that need to be answered so that Delphi and Edu can deploy this on Rinkeby. And I expect it to be done by Wednesday so that we can actually have a UI to play with.
Sweet. So we'll be able to test this next sprint. We can test the airdrop stuff.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, like Thursday.
Very cool.
Yeah, all the weird thing will be the UI will just say DApp node everywhere, right? So, but that's easy to switch. And Fabio and Marco are gonna hack on that.
Awesome. And will that be liquidity mining too, or just the airdrop investing?
They'll have to. Marco and Fabio will do that for everything, the liquidity mining and the airdrop, and I think Lauren, Marco, and I had like a call about the user journey for the different users, the people who got it from the airdrop and the people who get it from givebacks, and what their experience should be coming in to the claim and where we want them to go, and how we want to, the story, right? It's like, hey, you just got givebacks, or you just got give tokens. Okay, go vote or go do liquidity mining. Definitely don't sell it, right? Just go vote or go do liquidity mining, and make sure that they have like a solid place to go.
Awesome.
Do we have any initial proposals to put up for when people first receive give tokens that they could go and use them on?
No, I think there's a lot of gardens work that needs to be done on this. A lot of work for us is like, well, I mean, we do have some initial proposals. No, I guess not. We're reserving tokens back in the RGiv DAO for that. I don't think we have any initial proposals.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to come up with a couple ideas that way. As soon as people get them, they can go and use them.
Right now, I just want general consensus.
Yeah, we should definitely, let's keep our mind open for things that make sense to have as proposals early on.
I mean, all of the core team should be getting paid by this, right? So
yeah,
that's a pretty easy first proposal. And I don't know how we want to start. I mean, we really should consider, we probably need a real governance lead that's going full time on this stuff, honestly. Like, there's a lot to do on the governance side.
Yeah, great idea. That'll be a good thing. Maybe in one of these upcoming sprints, if not this one, then the next one, figuring out. It sounds like that is one of the things we're going to start talking about this next sprint, is how to transition from Giveth paying everybody to the DAO paying everybody. And maybe we can tie these together and figure out how to make these proposals soon after the DAO launches.
Yep, definitely. One thing that I'm not totally clear on is, we've got and everything from Bowen and we're leaving the surplus to the end, but do we need to do, I think we need to do another vote, right? And allow the other contributors to review in Aragon. So that feels like another next step, right?
Yeah, we don't necessarily need to do a vote right now because we know it's going to change. We could, but why don't we just bring it up next governance meeting? Just make sure people are aware that it's coming and that the list is ready for review if they want to check it out. And that the plan is we're going to add, 100 and X people right before deploying, and then that's when we'll do one final proposal. Because we'll still want to at least do one more proposal. So.
Okay, awesome. So I'm gonna just switch the order here. There we go. Okay, beautiful. Anything else on airdrop before we move on? Okay, doesn't look like it. All right, liquidity mining. So we're scheduling a hack session to review Edu's crazy spreadsheet and fill in the tables and spec.
How does Wednesday at the same time work for you guys?
Wednesday, I think we're planning on running out to do something fun on Wednesday night, a kirtan. But tomorrow or Thursday could work. Well, no, tomorrow doesn't work for you, right, Lauren? So maybe Thursday?
We could use tomorrow's sprint planning session time, which is scheduled for 6 to 7 p.m. Mountain Costa Rica time. Should already be on everyone's.
If that does work for Lauren, that works for me. Or Thursday also works. Either of those.
I would much prefer Thursday if we can.
Cool. Thursday it is.
And,
what time on Thursday?
Same time as this meeting.
Okay.
5 Mountain.
Cool.
And if we have time at the end of this call, I can at least get us started on the ballpark, the big picture.
Perfect. Okay, great. Giveth Gardens Covenant. I'm glad that we have everyone on the call today because I remember last time we mentioned that the incorrect covenant was uploaded. So that's all right for the test, but we just want to make sure that we switch that out when we officially launch. And the testing phase is currently in progress. How has that been going for Giveth Gardens?
Yeah, I mean, it was looking, I didn't do a ton, but I did a little bit of most things, and it was working pretty well. Only had a little bit of feedback, and it was pretty cool that we shared it, and kind of OneHive was already working on those small issues. I have one proposal that I think that I was just voting on that should pass in 7 hours, and we can test actually like executing the proposal. Then I think at that point, I think we will have tested pretty much all the functionality at least once. So overall, it's a pretty great test. They've done a really great job. And yeah, it was pretty cool to play around with it. I think they've done not only a great job in building it and not having a ton of bugs, but it's also a pretty great user experience. So I was pleased.
What's our plan for integrating Celeste?
Yeah, build on top of what OneHive does. Fortunately, yeah, it's not necessarily a requirement for launching it to have Celeste live, but that can be one of the things that the community implements after launch, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, Celeste is live on XDI. It's just not live on Rinkeby, so we can't test it. But yeah, so it works. We would implement it, I assume. I mean, I think it's. I don't know. I mean, I guess we'd have a vote like we're doing in the TEC, to say, oh yeah, we want to integrate Celeste. But honestly, it's like, dude, they're doing all this. The least we could do is let them solve our disputes. I mean, it's amazing they want to do that for us at all. So that's cool.
Hey, Bowen, welcome.
I'm just keeping quiet because I was late.
No worries. I'm just re-pinging the Notion agenda. If you want to follow along, it's in the chat. We're at the bottom under the Sprint 9 debrief. And we were just talking about Giveth Gardens. Okay, so Rinkeby testing roadmap. I should ping a link here, so I'm going to do that real quick. Okay. Here it is. Okay, so that's been dropped in there now. I need to spend some time still like polishing this and making sure that everything is in GitHub. That's on my list. And these were those tables, like the placeholder percentages of the airdrop tables. Those are in this document. Three-box, or rather IDX ceramic integration. From my understanding, this is something that is being prioritized for this next sprint, but hasn't really had a lot of attention yet.
If it's getting prioritized, that's awesome. I know last call I was in on Wednesday, still I'm not sure if it actually officially got prioritized. But definitely, as far as give token crew goes, I know that's like the main feature that we want to prioritize.
We were talking. I was talking in the Giveth One team call today. We were talking about taking it on and making it work for both dApps, and maybe just making. We have to figure out like. We have to take a little bit of a user journey thing, like actually just look at like what do we want to do and how do we want to solve it first. Because do we even need IDX? Maybe we just make them do tweets from their account that link their address, that link the thing, and like if they can tweet from their official social medias or tweet or Facebook or whatever, then that might be enough, for at least the impersonation requirement, to solve the impersonation requirement.
Totally, that is the ultimate requirement, is to make sure that like you can just verify that a project is who they say they are. A random person can't just sign up and say they're Red Cross and we have no way to verify it. And yeah, I think we should, on that note exactly, is like we shouldn't. I think part of the tension from the development team was that it felt like 3-box was being like really pushed pretty hard. Like it has to be 3-box, and they were like, we don't think 3-box is necessarily the right way to do it. So I think on that note, leaving implementation open to them and saying, look, as long as it solves this problem, if 3-box is the way to do it, that's great. If IDX is the way to do it, if we have a completely other way to do it, as long as we have some way to verify these projects are who they say they are, ideally with like a Twitter and or email, that would be awesome. And as far as user, we also have a little bit of, I know we have some stuff figured out, probably could be organized a bit better, but there's that one issue for project verification that has a lot of information in it. And then I know we talked in one of the recent Give token meetings just to get a little bit more info on what mockups are still needed for that.
Sorry, go ahead, Ashley.
The last time I did some research into 3-box, and from my understanding, 3-box is phasing out and becoming IDX or ceramic. But the last time I did research into 3-box, they don't have support for Taurus. So I mean, that kind of puts a lot of people out of the functionality to be able to verify their projects if they don't allow a Taurus integration. I'm not sure what the plan is for IDX or ceramic, or if that's the same thing, but it's definitely worth looking into, because I think that being able to support Taurus is probably going to be our main user base.
Yeah, I think in the end we got too bogged down with this idea of using this tool to solve the problem. And really, in an ideal world, they just say, "Hey, we are accepting crypto donations on Giveth.io or trace.giveth.io, right? Check out our campaign here." And that's it. Like, they don't need to verify their address. They just need to show that from an official account, they are actually participating here. And if they can do that, then we get 2 birds with 1 stone, right? Like, we're encouraging them to promote the fact that they're, ourselves and their, affiliation with crypto and pushing the, like, hey, it's okay for nonprofits to play with crypto, ideal. And then also we get to say, well, look, Save the Children tweeted from Save the Children. So like, it's definitely them.
Yeah, and that was one thing. So in this next round of projects that I sent out for project verification, that question was not on the form at that time, but it is now. So going into the next round of outreach, we'll be able to see how that works, because they will need to provide a link to their social media post coming from their account and whatever. So we can test that flow within the next round of verifications and see just how that works without any sort of 3-box or any kind of integration.
Yeah, so I'm sort of imagining a project verification page on its own that has the type form and has like an auto tweet or something like that that maybe we already even have, and whatever steps we need to take them on. And I don't think it has to be as complicated as we thought. It just needs to work for Trace and IO.
That's a pretty great idea for MVP, is just to put it in the type form and say, here, tweet this, and then paste the link to your tweet, and then we'll verify it when we do the project verification. And then we could drop in their Twitter. We could just drop it right into the DB when we update their false verified flag to true. And then boom, that's problem solved. And I still think it'd be great to maybe have this feature where people could just even verify themselves, even if they don't want to do give backs and stuff. But that definitely solves it for MVP. That's a really great idea. Maybe we should move with that. We'd still need a little bit of dev help, but it'd be easy. Just basically put in the badge in the front end, which wouldn't even necessarily be a requirement, but it'd still be nice to be able to show users that this is here's a verified Twitter account.
Okay, so knowing this new information, should I go ahead and prepare another round of outreach to another like 4 projects or 5 projects so we could test this social media link thing and see how that works?
Yeah, let's do it. And can you add to the type form that tweet step?
Yeah, it's already on there. It just the one that has already been responded to wasn't that one, but since those responses, I've added that. So the next round we'll get that.
Sweet. Very cool. Cool. And now it's like one issue for the dev team just to like display a little Twitter badge on a profile when it's verified. Let's see the account.
Yeah, and I think even Marco's already designed the badge for it. So whenever everybody's ready, I think that's ready.
Awesome. And then I just tracked what we talked about under the project verification section, but we'll get there. Okay, amazing. Staging.giveth.io available on Rinkeby Network. I believe in our comms call on Sunday, there was some discussion around this from Kai about, is this even necessary?
Yeah, we don't need it anymore. Because it's all off chain anyway, so we can just use it wherever it is, pull the data, and do give backs off chain. It was a bad requirement that wasn't fully thought through. We don't need it. The only thing it would be cool because then we could donate give tokens on the Giveth platform and it might be fun, but we don't need it.
Okay. Solidity Dev, now that we've added our referral bonus, do we have any updates on how this process is going?
The big update I have, at least, is that I'm really hoping that tomorrow I can woo RJ, our former lead smart contract dev, to come back to the bright side, you know. So hopefully, if that happens, we don't have to go look any further because RJ is a rock star.
I've got my fingers crossed for that, but I hope that happens. But I also want to say today I did a huge round of outreach to probably like 20 different Discord servers, and I added the referral bonus on that. So hopefully we'll start to see some more applications coming in from that.
If we ended up with 2 smart contract devs, I think we could put them to work.
Speaking of that, do you think you could add some slots for this week so that if I do get some emails, I have places to put them right away?
Yes, I can do that. I'll invite you. I'll just do it right now.
Cool, thanks.
Okay, amazing. And then back-end developer, I posted the link to the position here. I did get feedback from Mateo and I incorporated it. Actually, Kai, just before this call, gave me his feedback. So I'll put that in and then it'll be ready to go tonight. And I also updated like the beginning content from your stack. And that's really important is a transparent process with James because he was looking at ceramic for the impact graph. So we just need to understand what responsibilities should lie with James and which responsibilities do we need a new developer for. And we should understand that from James. But I think Monique is also collecting accountabilities from people right now. So that was his main feedback, not a lot of direct feedback on, and maybe based on what we just talked about with the ceramic IDX thing, that's not even necessarily Giveth for messaging. We're actually, still in progress on a few of these things. We obviously need decisions on routes we're taking for things before we can like close out some of these articles. But the drafts are in progress, and then when we make more clarified decisions, then we can like adjust the content. Project verification. We've got the new type form. Ashley sent out the new round of projects that we'll self-assign. Then I'll schedule our verification party for that. And Ashley, do you have what you need for, like, I'm not sure all the options that Typeform gives, but is it easy enough to do the auto tweet content that we talked about on the call today?
Auto tweet? I'm confused.
Yeah, what we were just talking about around like in the quick solution for now, since we don't have like IDX integration, is having like an auto tweet that then they triggers them to sign into their account, which hopefully is their project or the campaign social media account, and it just automatically tweets like the content that we've put in where they're promoting Giveth or something, tagging Giveth.
Well, now they can tweet from their project page, and then what the form requires is just for them to put a link to their social media post. So whether it be Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is that they choose to post on, it provides a space for them to link us to that post. But there's no button within the form that would allow them to tweet this content. They would have to go to their project page and tweet it from there.
Well, you can just paste a link to tweet too. It might not be the cleanest, but you can just copy and paste the link in the form.
You mean in the form itself? Okay.
Yeah, just
yeah,
like
I could do that, and I could do like a short URL kind of thing too to clean it up a bit.
Nice.
How would I find that URL?
You could grab it from in the website, like
Cool.
the same.
Just copy link address thing.
Yeah, try that out. I guess I'm wondering if we might pass in some data into that tweet link. So if it was going to be a tweet like that, then it wouldn't be able to have anything like their project name or URL or anything like that from the type form.
I guess in the type form, I could just provide like a little instruction that says, you know, you can do this automatically from your project page, because there's various options on there of how to share it, right?
Cool. Then yeah, maybe let's just link into the project page. That sounds good. And have to tell them to tweet there.
Yeah, and honestly, I liked your first idea, Willie, because I feel like a lot of the time, the person who's applying for this may not have control of the Twitter, or sometimes, you know, so they might just need to be copy pasting. You were giving me credit, but it's totally your to put like just copy some text and say, "Oh, we're so excited to be on Giveth.io and be receiving crypto donations," you know. And then just like say, oh yeah, insert your project link here. And then whoever is in that type form, they can just copy paste that to the person who controls the Twitter.
Okay, yeah, that's easily addable. I can totally put something in there, so I'll look into that and see what we can do.
Cool. I trust whatever you think is best, Ashley. Best experience there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if we're just like providing some content that they can copy paste to social media, that's also good, because I imagine a lot of nonprofit campaigns won't even have a Twitter, because I mean Twitter is popular for crypto but kind of dead in a lot of other industries. People are using like Instagram or other things more. So if it's just like an auto-generated sentence or something that they can post on whatever channel, and then they just share a link to the post that they made under that account, that could work.
Yeah, exactly. And I can also, yeah, I can just put it, I'll figure it out, sorry.
For applicant to
Well, and there's also a disclaimer like on the first page of the form that says that what information is required before they start even filling it out. Because I think that was part of the frustration, is people didn't realize they had to provide such information like nonprofit status or whatever. And so I put on the very beginning page the welcome screen which information will be required. So before people even fill out the form, they know that that will be a requirement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's helpful. Okay. Anything else around project verification? Okay. And then, yeah, the next thing is just, comms team. We are in progress on, as many of the circles are now, it's top of mind, progress on road mapping, quarterly milestone planning. We just had a great session before this call to kick that off. And we're talking through our various goals that we want to focus on over the next couple of months. And obviously the Give token launch and all the technical documentation to make sure that the airdrop recipients and our audiences have the details that they want to know. So once we've gotten more aligned and clear on exactly what our roadmap and our milestones to get there are, we will transparently share that. And then, yeah, we're also going to be focusing on Trace. I know on the last call we discussed like integrating givebacks and getting givebacks more aligned so it can work on both dApps. So yeah, all of these things are top of mind for the comms team as well. So that is our closeout of Sprint 9 and reviewing all of the priorities and where we're at with things. So hearing that, what do we feel went well? What did we learn? What do we want to do differently next time? We just have like maybe a few minutes for open discussion, and then with any time left, we can let Griff take the mic and guide us through the liquidity mining.
All right. Well, I think the garden stuff went great. So thank you, Lauren, for being a big part of helping make sure we got all that stuff ready to go and working with our friend Gabby on getting that deployed. And yeah, big shout out to the One Hive crew because that's awesome. So that was a big win, and that was one of the big goals for this last sprint. Also, the project verification stuff. Thank you, Ashley, for managing that so well. I feel like that's in a really great place. So it's all coming together. And the big final thing is the give backs. And so I think one goal that we didn't hit this sprint was trying to make more progress on the verification stuff. And so in terms of one thing that we could do better, I think one thing that we learned this past sprint was just figuring out a better communication with the Give dev team. And yeah, it seems like we're already taking good steps in that direction. So just wanted to acknowledge that because I think that was definitely the biggest lesson I learned this past sprint. And it was interesting too because I thought I was kind of in the impression, and I'm sure some of you guys were, that we all were on the same page kind of, and that we knew that this was the big next milestone with this token, and we were trying to, let the Giveth developers focus on bugs so that we could get the Give token stuff ready. I thought that was communicated, but it's a really good example of how sometimes you think everyone knows something, you assume everyone knows something, but very rarely is that actually the case. So just a good reminder to always, over communicate because it's so key, especially in this distributed world. Overall, great spectrum, and it's a good to learn lessons.
I think my biggest lesson is that sprints go really fast, you guys. I feel like it was just yesterday we started this. So much is happening right now. It's so awesome, and I'm really excited.
Coordination's hard, and I'm excited for us to get better connections within the team. I feel like I'm doing a lot of things over here, and I get to tell you guys about it, but sometimes it doesn't reach the rest. And so it's good to have these lessons about making sure that that information keeps flowing. I'll pass it to Lauren.
Yeah, I think you guys all nailed it. I feel like the biggest, most important thing to learn is how important it is for us to communicate with each other, because not only does that make sure that everybody's on the same page, but it also makes everybody feel better, makes everyone feel happier. And I think there was some stress and tension that came out of this, oh, maybe we just didn't communicate enough. So wow, look, communication is important. I feel like I learned that all the time over and over again, and then I forget, and then I remember. And I'll pass this to Bowen.
Sorry, it wasn't letting me hit the unmute button. Oh boy, where do I start? Every time you think it's done, it's not. It's probably my big lesson from this whole thing. I haven't been so much of a part of all of the things that you guys have been doing to have this intricate of view of what's going on, but that is probably the biggest thing I learned. Plus, and I know this is the debrief thing, but I wanted to throw one thing at you because I think you might think that it's cool. We have a tool that automatically tells you if you got an airdrop from Uni on the MyCrypto website that Frederick coded. And I think that I've got them to agree to do that for our token and for DAppNode as well. So that's going to be there. So if you just have your accounts in MyCrypto, it will just come up with a thing that says you have this airdrop to claim. And since we're using the Uni Merkle drop to do it, basically, then Frederick said it would be extremely easy to just port it over for the other two tokens. So yay. I just did that during this call, by the way. So he hit me up for something else. So there you go. Just a fun thing. And who can I pass it to? I think everybody's...
Forrest.
Oh, Forrest, please. take over.
Yeah, I feel like in the last few sprints, we weren't like fully closing our priorities and our goals out, and it feels really amazing that in this sprint we were able to close a couple of things or make like huge progress in getting there. I really want to celebrate that. I mean, huge progress with the airdrop. It feels exciting to have like a lot of big green check marks in that area. And like the Giveth Garden stuff, all of our initial priorities were accomplished. You know, let's see. The hiring process, I mean, just what you shared, Owen, applies to so many of these. Like it's a bigger project than you originally anticipate, or there's maybe like just things that arise that create blockers or little wrenches in the plan when we think something's like, oh yeah, we're going to throw this out. And like, we have such an awesome team. Of course, we're going to get all these great applicants, but sometimes there's just other factors. So definitely a learning there. But yeah, I'm really proud of our team. And also I think it's cool. Like it seems that there's more and more people that are actively coming to all of these Give token calls. Like I felt like the team started out smaller and now it's growing, and that's really cool. Shout out to Lauren and Ashley for being such a big, strong part of the team. And really, like going full force. Are there any other things that we want to share or capture here as we close out Sprint 9?
I have one thing to add. Right now for project verification, it's just me, Forrest, and Griff. We have a direct message going in Discord where we're self-assigning these projects to verify. And I'm wondering if anybody else in the call wants to be included in that, or they feel okay with where they're at, but I want to open that up to other people if they also want to be involved.
I'm happy to help. Do you guys, do you need help, or is it more just like people who really want to take on more? Because I certainly don't need more right now, but I'm happy to help out.
No, we don't. I don't think we really need the help. We're doing really small batches right now, so it's more of like an interest in being involved.
Cool. Well, then I'll hold off. I trust you guys, and I'm interested, but I probably shouldn't take on more.
That's awesome that you know that.
Hannah
Good,
might
clear communication.
I know Hannah has expressed interest in getting involved with more of the Give token stuff, so I actually asked her if she wanted to join the liquidity mining calls for the next Give meeting. So let's see what she says, and we can see if she'd be interested. Thanks for.
And totally. And along those lines too, with Griff and Forrest, do you guys feel okay with just assigning one person self-assigns to each project, or do you think we need more than one person to review it?
I think just if there's like, edge cases or like major questions that arise, but if it's obvious, I don't think we need to do a double review.
Okay, cool. We'll just start with single and we'll see how it goes. And yeah, because we're doing, like I said, really small groups of projects right now. So.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Bowen asked.
I would
go ahead,
just
Griff,
say,
sorry.
I would just say on that, yeah, exactly. Just to echo Forrest, like if there's somebody who, like if there's a project that you're saying no to, I think it should always be reviewed so we can all learn from that. And then, but if it's like, well, I could say no to this, then maybe we get a second opinion.
Yeah, I was referring more to like the initial assignment. Obviously, if there's any questions, we bring it to the call and we can review it together. But one person per project, you think is okay, and then we can bring it to the call if there's questions.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sounds good to me.
And then I'm just noticing Bowen's comment here in the chat. Do we have a tentative date for the airdrop? Don't believe that we do.
This summer, hopefully. I mean, let's be honestly, I feel like our goal should be at CC. Like if we could get it out before FCC, it'd be a nice like goal. I don't know if we can hit it. I think we could, but a lot of things
Is that late July?
Yeah, it's mid-July.
I also just
like
want to
that
say
goal.
that it's okay to take our time. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like I feel a lot of pressure in a lot of different places for like launching and dates and meeting these things, but I honestly think it's better if we have a really defined user experience before we just push stuff out.
I think it's a great compromise. Like we can aim for ECC because it'd be great to have it live, and it's great to have a goal like that we can work towards. But you're totally right, Ashley. If it's not looking good and it's not ready to launch, then let's hold off and let's wait until it's really solid and ready to go.
I like that goal though. It gives me more reason to want to go to ECC.
Let's go. The same.
Okay, so I only have 5 minutes. I think this is that moment of like, hi, what are we doing on liquidity mining? Is that right, Forrest?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So I guess I'll share screen really quick, and I just want to like frame what we're trying to do. Let's see, how about this one? So I can't see you guys anymore. So if there's something that you're trying to get my attention on, use your words. Can you guys see my screen?
See.
Yes.
Great. Okay, so in the roadmap to give, we kind of have like an overall like idea of what we have to do on Rinkeby on the technical side to like get things working and test. And this is a great doc to review, and maybe I'll just throw that in here. And we have, and on the first page of this draft of Giveth liquidity mining spreadsheet, which I will also throw in here, I kind of put in some initial questions that we want to answer, and I want to discuss just a little bit about how we'll answer them. So the real goal is to like, have an understanding of the configuration for our liquidity mining, as in how much money goes to each pool. This should be informed by the end goal. The data analysis requirement is really to just do some parameter sweeps of some sort in a way, and just understand what APRs are we looking at. So we can actually, without the price magically cancels out when we are doing liquidity mining processes like this. So you can say like, well, we have this much circulating supply of GIV tokens. If 25% of the circulating supply is in liquidity mining, then we will get an average APR of this. And it's deterministic. It's pretty cool. But there's certain variables that affect what the circulating supply is. The most notable one being the claimable percent. And the other obvious ones are like, how much is actually circulating? So some questions we have to figure out is like, well, how much is actually circulating? Like the stuff in conviction voting and in RGIV, those are not circulating. It's only the airdrops and maybe and like some, it's basically just the airdrop tokens. And then we have to also decide how long do we want to do the liquidity mining for, and then we can see the change in the APR month over month based off of our 4-year lockup period, and then we need to, once we have like an average APR, then we have to decide how much money should be rewarding liquidity provision on the Ethereum side, how much should be rewarding liquidity provision on XDAI side. And all of that is derived from using this spreadsheet to determine really results to this table, these tables.
Cool.
Yeah. And I don't think I really have time to try to like dive into the sheet, but yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you, Griff.
Cool.
looking forward to seeing those juicy APRs. Any idea
There-
Griff, what you think we be targeting? Like the first month and the last month, what would an ideal APR would be?
Yeah, I don't really have a good answer for that because I think it's a balance of like APR versus claimable percent. So like we have to decide, we have to look at both and see the trade-off. Like, do we want to give a lot of tokens to everyone right away and then have a lower APR? Or do we want to give people like almost no tokens and have a really, really audaciously high APR? And that's kind of the trade-off. So finding where it feels the Goldilocks solution, right? Where it feels just right on those balances.
Totally. Cool. Yeah, and it's tricky too because you don't want it to necessarily be too high or too low. You got to find that sweet spot, and we'll do our best to set some assumptions and stuff. But there's only so much we can control, basically. And the amount really the big things that we can control, the variables that are really in our control, is the percentage vesting, that vesting percentage, and the rate of distribution, and the time, the time length that we want to decide on. So thanks for setting up all that spreadsheet and the doc too. That'll make it pretty easy to go get these answers.
I'm curious if there are any other projects out there besides DAppNode that are doing something similar to what we're doing that we might be able to see what their data is providing as far as their percentages and numbers that we're unsure of.
Well, I mean, everybody who's doing liquidity mining has this scenario, basically. They choose a set of pools. They choose how much they're going, their token is going out, like XCOM just did on XDAI. And they chose what pools that they're going to do. And then they have their Ponzi pool, which is what I call it. That's all of our pools. We only have Ponzi pools, where there's like the token that you're being rewarded is also required inside of the pool. And so it's really like they do this math, but I've never seen anyone release a spreadsheet or any kind of like documentation showing that you could just do this. I feel like it's a known secret that you can just like manipulate these APRs based off your issuance rate.
This like global vesting thing that we're doing, is that a new thing, or is there like somebody else that we can follow it, like at least a little bit? I don't know. It's just a thought, because instead of trying to come up with numbers out of the blue, like maybe there's somebody out there that can provide us some information along the same lines.
About Finance has done a lot of it. Sushi. Sorry, what are you going to say, Willie?
I was going to say sushi too. There's definitely projects doing the vesting. Nothing quite like the global vesting, but even then, like I think there's precedent for it. But yeah, now, like Griff was saying, it's like this is the equation basically, and like the smart contract that we have to work with. These are the variables that we have to decide on. So really, this model is pretty perfect because it was built by DAppNode. It's like the perfect spreadsheet that we need to go answer this. We just need to go basically plug in some assumptions that are reasonable, and then see based on those assumptions, what these APRs are, and just have a discussion about what APRs we want to target. But that spreadsheet is basically everything we need to go figure that out.
Yeah, and it's the APRs are the answers, and then we have to figure out percentage of circulating supply. So we get like a range of circulating supplies, and then that range based off of that claimable percent. And so like every claimable percent, we can say, well, 5 to 80% of the circulating supply will be here, and that will give us a range of APRs between this and this. And then we just make the decisions.
Mm-hmm. We can I've done one of these spreadsheets too, and one that we did with ours was a very similar variables, and we had a pessimistic, realistic, and optimistic too. So that's one thing we could do here, is we say like, here's what we really think is our assumption should be, but we also, here's what the lowest circulating supply we can imagine, like the lowest amount being staked. Here's the highest amount we can be staked, and that gives you the range too. So you can really see like worst case this, the best case this, most likely here, but here's the full range that we can expect.
Yeah, I'm a little sad about this because I was hoping that we wouldn't have to do it because we'd have so much more information when if DAppNode launched first. But now, fuck it, we're launching first, so we get to gather this data the manual way.
I want to say go unicorns, but I don't know if that's relevant.
You can say it here.
Go unicorns!
Unicorns!
Awesome.
Yeah, I have to go. Thank you guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. I'm glad I
Take
got
it
good
easy,
enough of that
everybody.
to join. You too.
You're all awesome.
Oh,
You're awesome.
so awesome.
Thanks, everybody.
Take no one.
Wow.